What's going on, everybody? It's Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. I'm here with my main man, Rob Booker. Book, what's going on, man?
How we doing? Doing great.
Hey, I appreciate you joining me here. You know, you and I are out in the community each and every single day, and one of the topics that we are constantly being asked about is the topic of gun violence as it relates to kids. Tell me a little bit about what you're hearing.
Just pretty much, the impact of gun violence, kids carrying guns, whether it's in school, in the streets, in the neighborhoods, just the impact that it's causing our youth, whether it's them being shot or being in trouble behind the guns.
Yeah, no question. You know, when we have conversations with young people and people who have been impacted by gun violence, you know, one of the things that they're constantly telling us is they want that platform to kind of share their experiences and talk about what's going on in their schools and in their neighborhoods. And so really what we're trying to do here is through this podcast is really provide that platform for young people to have that conversation and give them the opportunity to kind of share their experiences to hopefully try to keep people out of gun violence, but also help adults better understand what's going on so we can offer better assistance and resources to help these kids out.
Yeah, I think we don't have a platform. Our youth do not have a platform to have these difficult conversations. I think right now this is the perfect place for them. Like you said before, a lot of adults, we think we know what's going on with our youth, and we don't have a clue. Like, there's so much youth has to say. They have a voice that, I think it's time for us to really let them get their voices out.
Well, and growing up today is way different than when we grew up. I mean, I graduated from high school in 1999, and there was no social media in 1999. And as prosecutor, so often I see the impact of how these social media beefs result in gun violence. That wasn't an issue for me when I was coming out of high school, but that's a huge issue for what kids are experiencing right now. What have you seen in terms of just what's going on with kids and social media?
Man, it's just like the back and forth, the arguing, the easy access to, just getting situations started. Like, it's really easy for them to argue on social media, easy for them to let you know where you are on social media, where you're located at, and it makes it more easier for these kids to get out here and really do these things out here that shouldn't be done, which is getting out here arguing, shooting each other.
And I always try to tell people social media is not real life. No one's that good looking. No one's that rich. No one gets to travel that often. And so people need to understand that what's out there, it's not real life. But the consequences to those actions are very much real life, because the consequences a lot of times end up with people getting accused of a crime, people being in the criminal justice system, and unfortunately people being seriously injured. Or even losing their life because of what people are saying online. Those are the types of things that I feel like could be preventable if we gave kids better tools and resources to deal with those pressures on social media.
Right. I think they see the easy part on the social media side, but they don't see the consequences behind it on social media. Like, they don't see the impact of dying, the impact of possibly being in jail for the rest of your life. So I think social media just plays this role. It plays the role of how to get involved, how to argue, how to result into the gun violence, but it doesn't show you the consequences behind what can happen when you're on social media, having these arguments, having these beefs, and involving yourselves in possibly having these gun battles out here in our community.
Yeah, and nobody benefits from that. And, in addition to really trying to provide kids with a platform, I think it's important to note that as we're doing this podcast is directed, it's edited, it's produced by young people. We want young people to not only help share their experiences, but we also want them to develop those skills, develop those tools so they can be successful later on in life. And so what we're doing here today is, when you watch this podcast, you're going to see this is produced by young people. And so hopefully we're also giving them an opportunity to, develop and build those skills that are going to lead to their success down the road.
Yeah, I think what we're doing now, what the kids are about to do today, not only they're out here producing, but they're out here really about to share their stories, their testimonies about their lives as well. Well, how the guns impacted their lives. So I think this is the perfect spot, the perfect time to really get this out here. It's well needed. We have got to get this awareness out here that carrying guns is not the answer. Hurting each other is not the answer, especially with our youth. So I think this is the perfect time, the perfect place. to do this.
Yeah, so what we're going to do here today is we want to hit the why. We want to ask kids, why are kids involved in gun violence? Why do people feel the need to carry that gun? But then we also want them to share their experiences and their story about what's going on, what they've had to deal with as it relates to gun violence, and hopefully help adults better understand what tools and resources could be most beneficial and helpful to the kids who are going through it right now.
Exactly.
And we're also hopeful that this will serve as a blueprint for other young people, for them to demonstrate how they can be leaders in their community as well.
Yes, like you said, that's definitely the motive. That's what we got going on. Really, pretty much just get this out here, get this awareness out here, and let our youth know that you're not a product of your environment. You're a product of your decisions, and we want you all to start making the right decisions.
Well, we feel very fortunate. We've got some great kids who are helping us out both behind the scenes and in front of the camera, and we're looking forward to a great podcast. Take a look at what they had to say. All right, so we're back, and we were joined here by some young people here in Indianapolis. And one of the conversations that we wanted to have is we want to talk about you guys and what you face and deal with every single day. Mm-hmm. I can tell you as the prosecutor, one of the things that I'm constantly concerned about is just the number of guns that are out there. And, just for you guys who are growing up, coming up in the city, why do you think so many young people feel the need to carry a gun?
I feel like it's more of like a protection thing, and then when it comes to protection, it comes with the ego because people think that they're more free and they can do whatever they want. But I feel like the gun just breaks away from what they really got it for, and it's to protect themselves. They don't use it to protect themselves no more.
Yeah.
So,
and like some people just do it because it's a trend. Some people do it to look cool.
Yeah, because it's just how it is nowadays. That's the problem with our generation. Nobody wants to really be themselves no more. Everybody just want to go with the flow, fit in with what everybody doing. So yeah.
So is carrying a gun, is that considered a cool thing or something that just everybody feels like they need? Hey, I need one because my friend has one.
To most people,
that's
yes,
what people think.
sure.
It's like everybody knows it's not cool, but they still do it because it's a trend, and they're gonna keep doing it.
One of the things is, how do people get the guns? When we talk about young people, there's obviously a lot of guns out there in our community. How are people acquiring these guns? How do they end up with these firearms?
That's a good question. I'll be sitting back and I'll be asking myself the same question. I look on the internet and somebody half my age with a big gun, something that'll probably blow a house down. I'll be like, dang, how they get that? But I don't know. I feel like a big toll in that is probably the parents, the older brother, a role model they looked up to that wasn't really a good role model. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Demetrius. I feel like it comes from the parents first because you got to be somebody older to obtain the gun. Yeah. So I feel like the parents, the brothers, the sisters, anybody over 21, they pass it down to them, and then that what makes the younger people want to do what the older people doing because they think it's cool.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's the adults in everybody's life. Everybody just
once again,
it's the adults.
It fits in with just the young people just trying to fit in with just the generation and how everything is nowadays. So yeah.
So is having a gun a status symbol?
Not really. I ain't even gonna lie. It's really not. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a lot of people that has guns, but you won't really know that they got guns, and that's the people that I feel like
it's
really
responsible enough to have guns.
So I feel like I don't think it is.
Not really, because the right people is out here. The right people with the guns is out here doing it for a reason, doing it for a good reason. It's to protect themselves, or 9 times out of 10, probably protect their family member, protect something. But the other half is just out here with an open mind, just a dumb mind, and just doing it.
Do you think sometimes that situations get out of control because people have that gun and they feel a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger because they've got that piece on them?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Because now they don't got to stick to physical strength. They can do whatever they got. They can feel like they can do.
They feel like they can
do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
So,
talk to me about social media. One of the things that I see a lot is a lot of disputes that take place online sometimes result in gun violence. How do you guys try to navigate that issue of social media, or how do your friends try to deal with that issue of social media and the peer pressure that comes on social media?
Me personally, I never really Like, I feel like it's insane and kind of dumb to me to like go back and forth on a social platform, because it's like, to me, if you're not gonna say it directly to that person or to that person's face, like, the internet is just it's stupid, just lame. I feel like the internet is more so for you to create memories, like take pictures of good things, go to like explore the world, take pictures of that stuff, but not to go back and forth with a person. So I feel like I just don't get myself into that type of drama. So yeah.
Yeah, like me, I don't really participate in none of that. Cause I feel like if you don't got confidence or self control, you shouldn't have social media. Cause people are gonna get to you. It's the social media. You don't know who you're gonna meet. They might be the most annoyingest person, and they gonna put you to your point. So you never know. I feel like you just gotta have confidence and self control to be on social media.
Yeah, social media is like really powerful. With that being said, it's like people don't know how to control themselves. Then that leads to other things, arguments, and then violence. Somebody gets hurt. All over, just like insult that somebody said they didn't mean, and just leads to gun violence. It's a lot.
Yeah.
When you guys are obviously coming up, you're in the age of social media, and it sounds like maybe you guys aren't necessarily as engaged, but a lot of your friends and people you go to school with are. Do you feel like social media takes over their lives?
Well,
Yeah.
in this generation, social media have took it over our lives, because if y'all think about it, we don't watch the news like y'all. We don't watch the news. We get all our news off social media. All we know basically is social media. Y'all go home, 9 times out of 10, they just scrolling on their phone, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like, it's just social media. All we know is really social media. So yeah, it affects the generation, not just lives individual, but the generation in general. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like, because most people, everybody got a phone. And that's what they spend all their time on. So I feel like social media it do play a big factor in this.
Very influential, yeah.
And where do you think that influence comes from? Like, why does it matter what's on your phone?
Because it's everybody in our generation is on like the same apps, so everybody's seeing the same thing. It's gonna like influence you to do something or say something just to seem cool. That's probably why.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like when you on social media and you seeing what other people do, that means like, oh, I want to go do it too, just because they looking like they having a good time. In reality, they really not. They really like at their lowest point.
Yeah, broken down.
Yeah.
And when we have these conversations about guns, the thing that is always difficult for me to see, I feel like there's a lot of young people who have guns who are not bad people, but are caught up in bad situations with those guns. Just from your guys' experience and maybe people that you know, talk to me a little bit about who has those guns, and do they all have bad intentions when they have those firearms?
I mean, the people I know. I wouldn't say they got bad intentions. Not at all, because I really don't surround myself with people like that. But like, from experience, people is people. People is unpredictable sometimes, especially random people. So I really can't like speak on people in general, but people is very unpredictable. But from my experience, people is unpredictable.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like, according to me, like you don't know who you're gonna meet. Like, it's so many people in the world that got different personalities, different thinkings, everything. So I feel like the people I surround myself with, they don't really carry guns just to look cool. They want to protect us. They want to protect my mama, me, my brothers. So that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't be around people to do that. But the people that I do know that have guns is always for a protective purpose.
And who are they protecting themselves from? Is it people their age, older people?
Everything.
I feel like it's everybody.
It's like a mix.
Like I said, people is unpredictable.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna
like
run
you
into.
even said, you never know what situation you could be in. You could be in a wrong place, wrong time. It's just how it is. And then the way the world is, the way our generation is, you never know what could happen. You never know who you could run into, bump into. So, yeah.
So producer Rob, I know he's got a couple questions back there. Let me turn it over to Book. Book, what do you got for him?
So my question is, we know find a lot of guns in schools these days. I don't know, I know y'all still in school. Why is it that kids carry guns in schools? And, how is it so easy to get guns into the schools?
Because I ain't gonna lie, from different cities and stuff, different states, I'm not gonna say people bring guns in our school because they don't. I really don't hear about it. But like I see on social media all the time, like Chicago, for example, kids do take guns in school. But the reason I think it's so easy is because most schools don't have police officers. Most schools don't have metal detectors. Most schools don't search your book bag. Most schools don't do none of that. They just let you be. If you go to school there, you could put almost anything in your book bag, just walk straight into the door, put it in your locker, and it is what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a people want to be cool, and then on the why it's so easy, I feel like it's a security reason. Because at our school, we don't really have that much security, and that's like one of the main problems.
Yeah.
I went to Warren. They didn't really do anything. I seen some wild things at Warren. I'm gonna be honest. They don't really do anything about it. Like you can easily just go through the door and you live your free life.
Yeah. People just got guns. People will bring guns to school, and it's really mostly like different cities and different states. They got different laws, different rules, and some schools got max security, 10 police officers, and like our school, we don't have any. So it's different rules, so that's probably why.
So do you guys feel safe at school?
Honestly,
Yeah, I feel safe. Nothing happens for real.
nah, don't. You right, but I don't still. I feel like it's cool here and there, but because I feel like anybody could put on one of our school shirts and walk straight through the door, and so that's why I don't feel.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing because
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not completely safe, but I'm safe for the moment until something happens.
Yeah, I also feel like I'm not safe nowhere. Like unless I'm at home, that's my most safest spot. I feel like I'm not safe anywhere because it's just how random the world works.
Do you feel like kids bring guns to school to feel safe, or do you feel like kids bring gun to school because they want to be cool or they want people to know they have that power?
No, I think it's to be cool because I feel like it's no reason you should feel like you should have to bring a gun to school.
That's true, but I feel like also it is that way because, like I said, the way our generation is, and like you said, 9 times out of 10 they probably said something on the internet that they didn't mean, and now they probably feel like somebody's out to get them, kill them, so they feel like, oh, I should take a gun everywhere I go because you never know what could happen. And in our generation, kids is dying. Everybody's really dying. So, yeah.
When we have this conversation about gun violence, and in particular, what can people do, what do you as young people, what do you feel like you need? What tools do you need to not only keep yourselves out of trouble, but also your friends, the people in your school? What are some of the things that you would like to see that would maybe help prevent kids from becoming involved in gun violence?
Like outreach programs?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. From like our experience, more outreaches, more events or something we could do.
Volunteer services?
Yeah, to take our mind off of, or to take their minds off of whatever's going through their mind, or off the gun violence, or just getting a gun. Like, I feel like if they had more opportunities, they would like have fun, look forward to doing something. Yeah.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I feel like more like counseling, school counseling, because we only got one counselor each grade. So I feel like if you add more counselors, more people to talk to, they're going to feel like they got a safe person. They're going to feel like, oh, now I don't feel like I got to do this because I got somebody to talk to and express my feelings. So I say more counseling.
And all of you kind of mentioned this idea of outreach and more opportunities for kids to do things. What would you like to see? Like, what specific programs do you think would benefit you guys in your generation?
We talked about this. What we talk about?
We talked about basketball, sports,
basketball programs,
like park activities,
camp programs.
Because I feel like sports mostly, because it's like I feel like young men is most likely to get caught up in gun violence. Anybody could get caught up in it though, but I feel like out of gender wise, the males is walking around with the guns, doing the dumb decisions with the guns. So I feel like for sure sports, something to take the young man's mind off of gun violence for sure. Football, just fun stuff.
Yeah, because sports build community,
Sports
and that's
do.
what really all we need is community. We don't got too many community team bonding activities outside of school.
Yeah, everybody likes sports, so it's gonna be definitely something everybody could do.
So you feel like sports is a good way to connect everybody and, hopefully build self-esteem, confidence, and also
Yeah.
it sounds like there's this idea that people need to stay busy. Would you agree with
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
for sure.
Because
For
people
sure.
got too much time on their hands nowadays.
They just want to do something stupid.
Right. Now, you guys are all involved in school, and I know you're involved in a lot of other programs. Do you guys feel like you have access to good adults? Do you have good mentors? Do you feel like your teachers care? Tell me about the adults in your life.
Yeah, I feel like we got some good adults at our school. My parents, Mr. Lockett, Miss Nave. I feel like
Hey,
because we come from the same culture, we can all relate to each other. So I feel like, yeah, we got some good adults in our school.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like I got a good relationship with almost anybody and everybody. So I feel like 100%.
Do you feel like that's had a positive impact on your life, having those positive adults in your
yeah,
life?
they're like good examples for us.
Good role models. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got somebody to talk to. So yeah,
And when you say role model, what are you looking for? What do you need from someone to be a role model to you?
Somebody just like set an example of what a young man should be or what a man should be,
Yeah.
so I can grow into that.
Yeah, I feel like that's with me too, because I feel like the most important thing, I feel like for me, is becoming the right man in life, because I don't want to be like one of these dumb young men just out here just running around. So yeah, I want to be the right man.
And as part of, you talked about being a good man or what a man should be. Does that mean you have to carry a gun?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
I feel like if you got a family, like some good mans do, if you got a family, you protecting them, then yeah.
Should have one. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you can be a good man without having to carry a gun all the time. But it's right to carry a gun if you got like a permit or something. You got the rightful laws. So yeah.
Producer Rob, I know you got a question back there. Rob, what do you got for us?
Looking back through this podcast, how do you feel now? Like where you feel your mind is now?
I feel like my mind got expressed to new things. So I feel like it's more open because I never knew I could do all this before I came here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, my mind is good and straight. Before I even came to this, I always said I wanted to like do YouTubing or something, vlogging something. And I just feel like this has helped me learn more about what I wanted to do. But I've always came with confidence because that's what I walk with. So I'm good. I'm in the right mindset right now.
Yeah. Having this conversation definitely is productive for all of us. It's good to have. Yeah.
What would you tell the youth out here today? What advice could you give the youth today?
Don't react with emotions.
Yeah, I say think before you do. That's can go a long way in your life. Think before you do.
That's a very good thing right there, Earl. So I got that gray hair. That wisdom.
Hey, I was saying this quote earlier. I said, just because you could do something doesn't mean you should do it.
True.
I'm gonna apply
Also
that to
true.
this.
Also
Yeah.
true.
Do you guys feel like you're leaders?
Yeah, I'm 100% a leader. I know.
Yeah, I feel like I set a good example, especially for my younger siblings.
Yeah, I'm a leader.
And that leadership, oftentimes you can lead people positively or you can lead people negatively.
Negatively.
How can you make sure that you take those leadership skills and get people turned in the positive direction?
You should think, as a leader, I feel like you should think, is this going to benefit me in the next year or two, so on in the future? I feel like if it'll benefit you, it'll benefit the people that you're leading for, because you're the leader. They're going to look up to you. They're going to follow your footsteps probably. So I feel like you should ask yourself, is this going to benefit you in a way?
Yeah, I feel like just don't show a lot of aggression, because if you show a lot of aggression, that's what they're going to take in. That's how they're going to come off with others. They're going to come off aggressive, want to fight them every time you speak to them. So I say, just be happy.
Lead by example, because since you're older, you automatically, younger people are going to look up to you. So the next generation behind you, they're going to be doing even stupider stuff. So lead by example and make good decisions.
And when we have this conversation about leadership, so if there's someone who's in your friend group, in your school, on your basketball team, who's maybe going down that path of gun violence or being involved in gun violence, not only what can you guys do, but what message would you give to other people out in the community? What can they do to try to help that individual stay away from, picking up that gun?
Work on their mind and work on their body.
Keep them busy. Just stay busy, honestly.
I'm going to go back to what I said. Just build community. Because when you got a community, that a bond builds off of others. So I say just build community.
But the people that's following that path could be building community with the wrong people.
That's why you got to stay happy.
Lead by example.
But they're not happy. They're angry.
You got to be happy.
To be doing something like that.
There's too much anger in the world to go around.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of anger in the world, and a lot of times we see that anger expressed on social media. What's your advice to your friends in terms of how to ignore that noise on social media?
Just turn the phone off and play the game.
Yeah, I say just be yourself. Don't let them try to influence you into doing stupid stuff. Just do what you would do, not what they would do.
Go hoop, bro. Get off the phone.
Just do something to take your mind off all that. Just,
I'm saying
it's not worth it.
Go
Not worth it.
Yeah, go do yoga, bro. Why is you trying to do all that, bro?
Like
Come
some
on,
people don't
gang.
like yoga. Just go do some yoga. Your mind will be straight. Your body will be right.
try new things.
Hey, 2 and 1.
Hey, 2 and 1. You just
Right
heard
there.
me.
So it sounds like from this conversation, for everybody, that kind of the takeaway is that young people need opportunities. They need things to do, constructive things to do, and sport's a good way to bring people together, build that sense of community, build that sense of responsibility for one another, but also the importance of having good adults in your life, that idea of mentorship and setting a positive example. Rob, when you hear these types of solutions coming from these young people, what would you say to people out there in the community in terms of what they can do to try to make a difference and help as it relates to this topic of gun violence amongst young people?
Just to listen to our youth, listen to their problems, listen to their everyday situations, know what they have going on, whether it's at home, outside, on the internet, just anywhere. Just pay attention. We need to pay more attention to our youth, to our future. Like I said, y'all got the answers. We don't know it all. I mean, we grew up in different times. We're living in different times. So just just tell everybody, it's just time for us to really start paying attention. Just start listening to our kids, man, to our youth, to our future. So, yeah.
No doubt about that, and we can only do that if people are willing to share. And we're grateful that everybody's willing to kind of share their experiences and their perspective about what's going on. But the next topic that we really do need to touch on is the consequences of gun violence and what happens when someone does take that gun to school, or someone does get caught with that gun, or in the unfortunate situation where someone uses that gun. And so when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the consequences of gun violence.